This year was a big year for pickups. We got the new Navara, we got the all-new Dmax, we got the new BT50, we got the new Hilux GRS, and we got the new Ranger FX4 Max. So you have a lot of new choices now, and I'm here to help you out. We rank them in different categories. We'll rank them according to price. We'll choose the best exterior, the best interior, the best in refinement, the best off-roader, and then we'll choose our overall pick. Pickups have come a long way since back in the early 2000s. They're not just workhorses now, they're also Porma vehicles or family vehicles that you may occasionally take with you to the trail or to the construction site. So in this roundup, we'll judge them as lifestyle pickups. So categories such as tech, comfort, driver assist features will rank highly. And we're not going to include pickups that are strictly for business use. So no single cabs or absolute base models on this list. We're going to peg the minimum price at 1 million and we'll go all the way up to 2.1 million. So let's start with the first category. Okay, so the first category is best low end. In this category, we'll rank variants priced between 1 to 1.4 million. At third place is the Dmax LSA 4x2. The Dmax LSA 4x2 gets fabric seats and a plastic steering wheel, but it gets a 10-inch screen with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a reverse camera. It also gets points for being an all-new model. At second place is the Ranger FX4 4x2. To those who are not so much into tech, but want something that's been dressed up and has a nice interior, there is the Ranger FX4 4x2. It comes with blacked out accents, it comes with leather seats, a leather wrapped steering wheel, an 8-inch screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It doesn't come with a reverse camera though. And at first place is the Navara VE 4x2. The Navara VE 4x2 is pretty feature-packed for the price. It has dual-zone climate control, it has an 8-inch screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It gets quad LED projector headlights and LED tail lamps, and best of all, it gets automatic braking, which I think should be a more common feature on local cars. It does come with fabric seats though. Next category is best mid-range. So in this category, we'll rank variants priced between 1.4 to under 1.7 million pesos. At third place is the Strada Athlete 4x2. The Strada Athlete gets blacked out accents and aggressive decals on the side. On the inside, it gets a two-tone black and orange color scheme. It hurts my eyes a bit, but maybe it's our cup of tea. It gets a 7-inch screen with a reverse camera, but it doesn't get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. At second place is the Wildtrak 4x2 Automatic. The Wildtrak 4x2 is powered by Ford's 2-liter single-turbo engine that produces 180 horsepower and 420 Nm of torque. You get a leather interior, you get a locking rear differential, an 8-inch screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a reverse camera with active guidelines, and you get the Ranger's excellent ride quality and NVH levels, and also its very light electronic steering. At first place is the Navara VL 4x4. This is the most affordable, near top spec 4x4 variant that you can buy from a mainstream brand. It's basically almost the same as the top spec Navara Pro 4X. Only you don't get the all-terrain tires, the blacked out bits, the Pro 4X badging. But you get a 360 camera and leather seats. So next category is best high-end, but our best high-end will also be our best pickup of 2021, so we'll save this one for last. Next category is best interior. At third place would be the Ranger Wildtrak. I think it offers a good balance of rugged and classy. The top of the line Wildtrak gets leather on the dashboard and it gets a couple of glossy and metallic bits that make it look a bit more premium. At second place would be the BT50. I had high expectations for the interior of the BT50 because it's a Mazda. But perhaps my expectations were too high, and I set myself up for disappointment. It's not a bad interior, but in terms of quality and design, it's about the same level as the Dmax. At least the 4x4 model. I think the interior of the 4x2 model is slightly inferior to the slightly cheaper Dmax LSA, mostly because of the tiny, low-resolution screen. The Dmax LSA gets a bigger 10-inch screen, which also looks nicer. And while the minimalistic design looks good when you have nice materials, when it's all plastic, it just looks very basic. And at first place would be the Dmax LSA. So like I said, the interiors of the Dmax and the BT50 look very similar. In fact, it's mostly just the top of the dashboards that look different. In terms of aesthetics, I'd say they're about equal. The dashboard of the Dmax has a more angular design, while the BT50 aims for a more simple and more minimalistic design. The Dmax has a lot more compartments, and I like the compartments that are next to the air vents, so I'll give this one to the Dmax. Next category is Best in Refinement. So in this category, we'll rank them based on noise levels, ride quality, and the overall sense of refinement that you get when you're driving them. At third place would be the Nissan Navara Pro 4X. The Navara is among the two pickups in the segment that come with coil springs at the back. And that makes a noticeable difference in ride quality, especially when it's not loaded. It rides better than the Strada, the Dmax, the BT50, and most variants of the Ranger. At second place would be the Ford Ranger FX4 Max. Unlike most variants of the Ranger, and like the Ford Ranger Raptor, the FX4 Max comes with fog shocks on all four corners. The 2-inch shocks of the FX4 Max are a bit smaller though than the Raptor's 2.5-inch shocks. And the FX4 Max gets leaf springs at the back. In terms of noise levels, I think the FX4 Max has slightly better noise insulation than the Navara. And I think the 2-liter bi-turbo feels just a bit more refined and more quiet than the Nissan's 2.5-liter. The Ranger's lighter steering also makes it feel less like a truck to drive. And at first place is obviously the Ranger Raptor. The Ranger Raptor is the best riding pickup that you can buy right now. It rides better than most SUVs. Stepping from the Ranger Raptor to a Hilux is a jarring experience. Literally. It has coil springs with fog shocks on all four corners. The suspension is soft enough to absorb small road imperfections, but you can also do jumps without the suspension bottoming out. NVH levels are also very good. Like the Wildtrak, it also has active noise cancellation, and Ford's 2-liter bi-turbo engine is the most refined and most quiet in the segment. Also, it's quiet under normal driving, but when you floor it, it sounds pretty good. Next category is Best in Tech. In this category, it's all about electronic features, toys, driver assist systems, active safety features, and convenience features. At third place would be the Navara Pro 4X. Currently, only the Navara and the GRS Hilux come with 360 cameras, but the one on the Navara looks much nicer. The Navara also gets automatic braking, blind spot warning. It doesn't get adaptive cruise control though, and that's why it's at third place. At second place, we have a tie between the Dmax LSE and the Mazda BT50. It's a tie because they're basically the same vehicle under the skin. They both have Isuzu's ADAS, which includes adaptive cruise control, automatic braking. So the adaptive cruise of the Dmax LSE and the BT50 works at any speed. Unlike the adaptive cruise of the MUX though, when you're at a complete stop, it automatically turns off and then the vehicle moves forward. So I don't think it's as useful as the adaptive cruise of the MUX. At first place is the Ranger Wildtrak 4x4. The Ranger Wildtrak 4x4 comes with adaptive cruise control. It comes with automatic braking. It comes with a lane keeping assist system that actually tries to keep you within your lane instead of just beeping at you. It also has automatic parking,
Stop vehicle. Shift to reverse. And now the vehicle automatically steer itself. Like that. I mean, some may say this is gimmicky, but for a large pickup like this, especially if you're not used to driving large pickups, I think it's actually quite useful. Look at that. And that's perfect parallel parking.
The 2021 model also now comes with a power roller shutter, which is definitely a very convenient feature to have. My only complaint here is that the Wildtrak's Adaptive Cruise has a minimum speed of 30 kph, so you can't use it in heavy traffic. Best off-roader. I think more and more people are starting to realize how much fun they can have with their 4x4 trucks, because I see more and more people taking their trucks off-road. So in this category, we'll obviously rank them based on their off-road capability. At third place is the Navara Pro 4X. Its all-terrain tires and its locking rear differential are definitely very helpful when going off-road. Its 360 camera also helps when you need to know what the ground beneath you looks like. At second place is the Ford Ranger FX4 Max. The FX4 Max is powered by the same 2-liter engine as the Raptor. It has Fox shocks on all 4 corners. It has higher ground clearance compared to the regular Rangers. The intake has been raised to lessen the chance of water intrusion. And it gets aggressive 32-inch all-terrain tires, which definitely help in low traction conditions. And at first place is of course the Ranger Raptor. The Ranger Raptor is the best pickup to buy if you want to go off-roading. It has the most ground clearance, it has the biggest and most aggressive tires. You get longer suspension arms, you get more suspension travel, you get more underbody protection, and you get chassis reinforcement. Next category is best value for money. At third place would be the Maxus T60 4x4. Maxus is a British brand that was bought by Psych Motors, so it is now Chinese owned. Unlike Chinese crossovers, this is not going to beat the mainstream brands in terms of tech, but it does offer a lot of value for money. This is the most affordable 4x4 automatic pickup that you can buy. And it's not bare. It gets leather seats, it gets an 8-inch screen with Apple CarPlay, it gets plenty of cabin space and cargo space, it gets a 2.8-liter diesel which produces 148 horsepower and 360 Newton meters of torque. That's a bit behind the competition, but it doesn't really feel underpowered. Just don't expect it to win drag races with the others. At second place is the Ford Ranger XLS. The XLS is the most affordable automatic variant from a mainstream brand, and it's not completely stripped out. You get an 8-inch screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You get cruise control. NVH levels and ride quality are also pretty good for a base model pickup. And at first place would be the Terra VL 4x4. This is the most affordable, near top-of-the-line 4x4 variant from a mainstream brand. In terms of features, it's almost the same as the Pro 4X, except that it doesn't have blacked-out accents and all-terrain tires. Next category is Best Exterior. Since looks are very subjective, you get to decide the winner for the best looking pickup of 2021. At first place is the Ford Ranger Raptor, followed by the Navara Pro 4X, and at third place is the Hilux GRS. So apparently not a lot of you like how the BT50 looks because it's at the bottom spot. Before I choose my best pickup of 2021, let me first talk about why I didn't choose the others. The BT50 is basically like a Dmax and a Mazda shell. One advantage of the BT50 over the Dmax is the is the fact that it has a differential lock for the 4x4 model, but that's also something that you can get from its competitors, except for the Dmax. The Kodo design made the BT50 stand out, so I was expecting it to rank high on our poll, but it ranked last. One thing about Mazdas is that you get 5 years of free PMS, and that may be enough to sway buyers, but not enough to make it really stand out. Aside from its looks, I don't think it offers anything really special that would make it stand out from the rest. The Hilux GRS. I've driven a Hilux Conquest. With its stiff suspension, it is the least comfortable modern pickup that I've driven. The GR Hilux, according to Toyota and according to other reviewers, has even stiffer suspension for sportier handling. I don't think stiffer suspension is in the wish list of most Hilux owners, and this is no sports car, so I don't see this as a plus. In terms of tech, it doesn't have Toyota's safety sense. It is the only top-of-the-line pickup here, aside from the Navara, that doesn't have adaptive cruise control. The body kit looks nice, but not nice enough to warrant the almost 2 million peso price tag. Strada Athlete 4x4. The Strada Athlete 4x4 has the least powerful engine. It has a plasticky interior, a small infotainment screen with no Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It doesn't have adaptive cruise. The exterior looks nice, but not enough to make it stand out. Navara Pro 4X. I like how the Navara Pro 4X looks. The huge grille and the all-terrain tires are definitely a nice touch. I wish they updated the interior though, because the dashboard looks mid-2000s. Also, it doesn't have adaptive cruise. I think it's priced really well, but again, not nice enough to stand out. Dmax LSE. I love the Dmax LSE. I like the aggressive styling. I think it has one of the nicest interiors in the segment. It's also an all-new model, and usually I give extra points to all-new models. But in this case, there is just something that's better. I've said this in my previous videos. It is not the jack of all trades that stand out, but the masters of a few. It was our best pickup of 2019, our best pickup of 2020, and it's now our best pickup of 2021. Up until now, no one has released a pickup that directly competes with the Ranger Raptor. I've seen a couple of supposed Raptor killers over the years, but they turned out to be nothing more than regular pickups with body kits. But the Ranger Raptor isn't just a regular Ranger with a body kit. The wide fenders make it look beastly, but they're there for a reason. The suspension is entirely different. It is wider because it has longer suspension arms. It also has 2.5-inch Fox shocks on all four corners. It has coil springs instead of leaf springs at the back. The chassis has been reinforced. It has more underbody protection. It is 2 inches taller, 2 inches wider than the regular Wildtrak. The tires are the biggest and the widest in the segment. They're almost 33 inches in diameter. For comparison, most pickups have 30 to 31 inch tires. So this is a performance truck from the ground up. But it's priced about the same as other high-end pickups. I know there will be comments about issues regarding the Ranger, so let me try to address them. To address those who are saying that the rear suspension falls off on the highway, we launched it several feet in the air, and that event lasted for 2 days. 2 straight days of torture testing the Ranger Raptor. If the differential assembly was gonna fall off, it should have happened there. It shouldn't even make the trip from the factory to the dealership if it can't even handle highway driving without falling apart. No vehicle suspension should randomly fall off on the highway, no matter how cheap the vehicle is, unless it was repaired or modified and not torqued properly. Or unless it was in an accident. There was also a known issue on a small batch of units from the latter half of 2019 to early 2020 that had issues with the transmission oil pump gear, but that has been recognized and addressed in the latter models. So with those issues aside, the Ranger Raptor is still the most badass pickup in terms of performance and in terms of looks. It stands head and shoulders above the competition, so it's still my best pickup of 2021.